As if things weren't bad enough for Marvel's Avengers already, Square Enix has now called the game a disappointment. Let's talk about it.
The time draws near.
Get ready.
Hello there everyone, my name is Tyler, and today we're going to be talking about Marvel's Avengers and the recent comments from Square Enix President Yosuke Matsuda on the game itself. Now, it's no secret that Marvel's Avengers has had a pretty rough ride ever since its release last September. The game has suffered from lack of interesting in-game content, a slow drip feed of additional heroes, and poor development choices such as slowing down the experience rate and adding paid experience boosters. Although, that very last point was recently walked back on by Crystal Dynamics in a very smart move. Now this week, in Square Enix's yearly financial report, Square Enix President Yosuke Matsuda talked about a number of financial related things in regards to the different games that they've put out, how well their games have done in the past year, so on and so forth. And in one section, he addressed Marvel's Avengers directly. Reading from the annual report, Matsuda goes on to say here, quote, "I would also note that Marvel's Avengers was an ambitious title for us and that we took on the games as a service model. We overcame a variety of unexpected difficulties in the final phase of the game's development, including needing to transition to work from home due to the pandemic. We were able to surmount these challenges and release the game, but it has unfortunately not proven as successful as we would have liked. Nonetheless, taking on the games as a service model highlighted issues that we are likely to face in future game development efforts, such as the need to select game designs that mesh with the unique attributes and tastes of our studios and development teams. While the new challenge that we tackled with this title produced a disappointing outcome, we are certain that the games as a service approach will grow in importance as gaming becomes more service oriented. How we go about creating new experiences by incorporating this trend into our game design is a key question that we will need to answer going forward." Now, ever since this statement has come out, I've seen many people on the internet talk about how Square Enix is basically roasting Marvel's Avengers, how they're throwing Crystal Dynamics under the bus for the game's reception and how the game has been doing. But I don't necessarily think that is the case here. I don't think Square Enix is throwing anyone under the bus at all. I think Square Enix is looking at themselves, looking in the mirror, acknowledging, hey, we made the wrong decision here. We shouldn't have given Crystal Dynamics a games as a service game. We should have forced a games as a service model onto Marvel's Avengers and onto Crystal Dynamics, a studio that is known for their single player story-based adventure games. They're not known for putting out games as a service titles. That's not to say that Crystal Dynamics wouldn't be good at putting out a games as a service game or can't do it, but that's not what they're known for. So Marvel's Avengers being shoehorned into this games as a service model and not doing all that well and having all these issues that it's had in the past year, it's not that surprising that we got the outcome that we did. Now, the main story, the single player campaign for Marvel's Avengers is pretty good. It actually is. Is it worth paying $60 for? I don't think so. But getting on a Game Pass, just going through the main story campaign, the single player campaign, that's totally worth the Game Pass price of admission. Or even if you find the game on sale for, $20, $25 like I did, it's worth that price, I think. Yes, the gameplay is, very repetitive. Yes, you're just fighting and beating up robots and AIM soldiers, and there's not much more to it than that. But the single player campaign, which again is what Crystal Dynamics is known for, good single player story campaigns, the single player story is really good. I really enjoyed it. I haven't done any of the other stories that they've added to the game, but I'm sure that those are hopefully probably just as good, or at least at bare minimum somewhat good. So I definitely don't think that Crystal Dynamics is being thrown under the bus here by Square Enix. I don't think that they're saying, oh man, the way Avengers turned out is Crystal Dynamics' fault, it's their fault, blame them. I definitely think they're saying to themselves, this is our fault. We realize now that we need to give teams games and styles of games that are suited for them and that they are comfortable with. Not comfortable in the sense that it's just, it's easy peasy for them, but comfortable where the team reasonably thinks, okay, this is something that we can do. It'll be a challenge, but it'll be a fun challenge, and we can still produce something great out of this. Not so uncomfortable that it's this is entirely out of our wheelhouse. What are we doing here? Like the games as a service approach that got shoved onto Marvel's Avengers is for Crystal Dynamics itself. Now, am I worried about more games as a service type games coming from Square Enix and them possibly forcing this onto other games as well and other studios? No, because again, They are acknowledging that, hey, we need to be more careful and more selective in regards to the types of games that we have our teams make and all like that. I think that they will take into consideration more so what their teams want to make and what their teams can make and what their teams are good at making, and allow them to really shine the way that they can. Look at Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and Eidos Montreal. That's a team right there that is known for making single player stories and great single player action adventure games and what have you. And Guardians of the Galaxy, for all the shade and jokes and everything that people threw at it leading up to release, the game has turned out to be a critical darling in a sense. It's turned out to be one of the better games of this year, and a big surprise to many. So I personally thought it would be great, but a lot of people were actually surprised by it. So it's really funny looking at that game and seeing how, man, Square Enix, you guys could have had 2 great single player games under your belt from Marvel, and one of them you just kind of fumbled the bag on because you just made it a games as a service game. The one thing I do wonder though is how much longer Marvel's Avengers life is going to be. We do know that at the end of this month, on November 30th, the game is going to be getting its first raid. It's going to be getting a bunch of different quality of life features and system changes and all. And Spider-Man is finally going to be coming to the game from PlayStation owners. But past that, we don't really know what's going to be happening with the game. We don't know what the long-term plan is. We don't know if there are going to be more characters coming, how many more characters are going to be coming, so on and so forth. And I wonder if Square Enix is going to look at this and say, you know what? After Spider-Man, we just cut our losses. We'll just Crystal Dynamics, you don't have to do this anymore. Go do something else that you actually want to do and leave it at that. Or if they think that there is real potential here, and if they think that Crystal Dynamics can just work at this more and more and build this out to be the Avengers game that we kind of, that it really could be as a games as a service game, an actual good one. We gotta wait and see. We really just have to wait and see. Who knows at this point in time? I feel like things are really on the needle's edge with Marvel's Avengers right now. Things can go either way, and I think a large part of it will be just how the reception is to the game once Spider-Man and all these raids come at the end of the month. We'll have to see then. Until then though, thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts on Marvel's Avengers and Square Enix's thoughts on the game down below in the comment section. Do you think the game is disappointing? Do you think there is potential? Are you one of the people who actually really enjoys the game and is a stalwart believer in Marvel's Avengers as a games as a service title? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell as well so you get instant notifications and can be one of the first people to watch a video as soon as they go live. Like this video, share it with anybody and everybody. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll talk to you all next time. Have a good one.